Uniqlo sells plain t-shirts, affordable jackets, simple sweaters, basic clothes for ordinary life. So here's the strange question. Why would a company like Uniqlo hire Roger Federer or Cate Blanchett? These are global celebrities, luxury-adjacent icons, people most customers will never become. And yet this strategy worked brilliantly because Uniqlo understands something many brands do not. People rarely buy clothes only for fabric. They buy what the person wearing the clothes represents. And today, I want to show you why a company built around made for all still needs icons. A plain white t-shirt is one of the hardest products in the world to brand, because if nobody feels anything when they see it, you become wallpaper. That is the hidden danger inside Uniqlo's business model. Luxury brands are easier. Hermes sells exclusivity. Nike sells athletic ambition. Lululemon sells wellness and lifestyle. But Uniqlo sells basics. And basics are dangerous because practicality alone does not create emotional attachment. Nobody proudly tells their friends, "I bought a very functional beige sweater." So Uniqlo needed a way to make simplicity feel aspirational. Not loud, not flashy, not trend-driven, just quietly elevated. That is where the ambassadors come in. In 2018, Uniqlo signed Roger Federer. At the time, many people were confused. Federer was already in the later stage of his career. He was leaving Nike, and Uniqlo was not even a sportswear company. But strategically, Federer was almost perfect, because Federer represents a very specific kind of success. Not loud success, not rebellious success, not social media influencer success. Control, discipline, consistency, elegance without trying too hard. He makes excellence look calm. That matches Uniqlo almost exactly. Look at Uniqlo's most famous products: Heat Tech, AIrism, Ultralight Down. All of them follow the same philosophy: quiet performance, useful, reliable, technically good, without screaming for attention. Federer turned that philosophy into a human being, and timing mattered too. Around that period, Uniqlo's international business became larger than its Japan business. This was no longer a Japanese retailer opening overseas stores. It was trying to become a true global brand, and Federer already was one. He gave Uniqlo instant international credibility, especially in Europe and North America. Then came Cate Blanchett, again highly intentional. Blanchett brought something Federer could not: fashion authority. But importantly, not trend-chasing fashion. She is known for elegance that feels intelligent, timeless, controlled, sophisticated without looking desperate for attention. That matters, because Uniqlo does not want to become fast fashion. It wants to feel permanent. Luxury brands usually create distance from ordinary life. Uniqlo wants the opposite. It wants elegant people inside ordinary life. That is a very different strategy, and Blanchett helps solve another problem too. Simple clothing can sometimes feel boring. She reframes simplicity as confidence. The emotional message becomes, you are not dressing simply because you cannot afford more. You are dressing simply because you no longer need to prove anything. That is a much stronger emotional position. Then Uniqlo did something even smarter. Instead of building everything directly around Shohei Ohtani, they partially attached themselves to the environment around him. Uniqlo Field at Dodger Stadium. This matters for one important reason. Right now, Ohtani may actually be a bigger personal brand than Uniqlo itself. That changes the power balance. When a celebrity becomes too large, the brand risks becoming secondary. The celebrity absorbs the attention. So instead of trying to fully own Ohtani directly, Uniqlo positioned itself around the Ohtani era. That gives them constant visibility inside one of the biggest sports stories in the world, especially across Japan and the United States. And emotionally, Otani represents something very similar to Federer: discipline, humility, technical excellence, global respect. Again, the same emotional pattern appears: quiet excellence. That is the real Uniqlo brand. Not hype, not rebellion, not status signaling. Reliable excellence without unnecessary noise. And the results became very clear. Since around 2018, fast retailing grew massively across international markets. Revenue climbed sharply. Profit grew even faster. That second part matters more. Because when profits grow faster than sales, it usually means the brand itself is getting stronger. Customers become more loyal. Pricing power improves. The business becomes more efficient. Meanwhile, competitors selling similar simple living products struggled more with consistency and positioning. Uniqlo knew exactly what emotional territory it wanted to own. Here is the deeper business lesson. Strong branding is rarely about choosing people who look like the customer. It is about choosing people who symbolize the life the customer wants to move toward. Most people buying Uniqlo do not expect to become Roger Federer overnight, but they respond to what he represents: calm competence, control, confidence, stability. That emotional layer changes how people experience even ordinary products. A plain jacket becomes, I am practical but refined. A plain sweater becomes, I value quality, not hype. That is branding. Not changing the product itself, changing the meaning around the product. So the next time you walk into Uniqlo and see Roger Federer or Cate Blanchett on the wall, remember, they are not there because Uniqlo expects customers to become celebrities. They are there because simplicity without aspiration feels cheap, but simplicity attached to elegance, discipline, and quiet confidence starts to feel premium. And that may be Uniqlo's real genius. They turned ordinary clothing into emotional positioning, without ever looking loud about it. One quick aside, this is my personal take. If you see things differently, trust your own view. I am here to share a perspective, not a verdict. I am curious, which brand ambassador partnership do you think works best in the world right now? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.